Why and once again left me for Dong Bowen, this time at our wedding. Looking at his back, an electronic voice suddenly came to my mind. This is the 100th time that the heroine has abandoned her for the supporting male lead. Do you want to give up being his male lead? Yes, you can choose a new male lead for the heroine, Dong Bowen, since this pair of childhood sweethearts can't let go of each other, just lock them together. Because Yuan used the system to bind you as the male lead. No matter what he does, you will eventually choose to forgive him. Now you are free. I asked, can he bind you back again? The electronic voice replied, no, he has no right to change the male lead again. When the conversation ended, I felt as clear as if the clouds had been cleared and the sun had been shining. Looking at the mess of relatives and guests below the stage, I calmed down and took the microphone from the MC. It's a pity that the wedding can't go on. I'm sorry to make you laugh. Everyone quieted down as Yuan just said that the wedding should be postponed, but I don't agree. From today on, I will cancel my engagement with her, and we will have nothing to do with each other in the future. In the huge banquet hall, after the bride ran away, there was another uproar. I raised my voice. In addition, the gift money will be returned to everyone double. Thank you again for coming. After that, I bowed and walked off the stage with brisk steps. Yuan and I haven't got the marriage certificate yet, and all relatives and friends know it. It's not that I don't want to, but she insisted on testing me for another 2 years. Now I am very glad of her decision. After all, divorce is not an easy thing. As soon as I got down to the last step, my parents came to me. Son, are you serious? Have you thought it through? My mother grabbed my hand and asked excitedly. She always felt that Yuan and I were not suitable. Not to mention the family background. The key is that the other party didn't take me to heart. I was the one I loved more of the two. My mother was not satisfied, but she did not forcefully interfere. At this time, she looked at me with hope, wanting to confirm whether her wish should finally come true. My father held her back and said calmly, it was just a word of anger. Did you take it seriously? He just called me and he came back, but you still believe? The disappointment and helplessness in his tone were obvious. Most people at the scene should have the same idea as my father. My mother's eyes suddenly lost their light and she whispered. At that moment, my heart hurt like a needle. When I gave in without any bottom line in my relationship, it was also a torture for my family who loved me. This time it's true, believe me. I held my parents' hands and promised. Yeah, believe it. They were silent and then patted me perfunctorily, and their expressions were obviously unbelieving. Yes, Yuan and left me 100 times for Dong Bowen, and I have forgiven her 99 times. My criminal record makes my promise seem so pale and powerless. But it doesn't matter. I will prove myself in the end. As the three of us were talking, Yuan's parents came over. Su Xiao, you are such a fool. Why do you have to say angry words on stage and to make our Yuan unhappy? She still needs you to coax her. How about this? You help me get the land in the eastern suburbs, and I will say a few good words for you. The man in front of me with a big belly and arrogant attitude is Yuan's father. Once upon a time, he had to kowtow in front of me, but now he is stepping on my head directly just because I indulged and gave in to Yuan. Mr. Yuan and I have already broken off our engagement. I don't need you to say good things for me in front of him. I won't help with the land. In addition, Suze will terminate all cooperation with your company and withdraw all investments. His small company that was on the verge of bankruptcy was revived with the help of Sue's group, but this ungrateful family seemed to have forgotten it. Father Liu immediately looked fierce, pointed at my nose and yelled, "Okay, I won't help you. Wait, you wag your tail and beg for mercy to my daughter like a dog." My mother slapped him on the greasy face. "You are insulting my son. I will smash your mouth." She has always been gentle and kind, but now she is like a lion protecting her cub. I am just telling the truth. How can it be considered an insult? Isn't this what your good son has been doing all these years? Father Liu didn't dare to fight back, but he was unforgiving. No matter how rich and powerful you are, what does it matter? You have a son who is in love. Your face is on the ground. I will step on it at will. I went up and directly broke his chin, staring into his eyes. Get out. He was so scared that he took a few steps back. Liu Yuan's mother supported him and looked at me with contempt and determination. We will wait for your family of three to come to apologize. After that, she pulled Father Liu away. My parents looked at me in surprise and then looked alert. We won't go to apologize with you. I won't go either, I swear to the lamp. They were silent. Just after seeing off a wave of guests, the assistant came over. Mr. Xiao, do you want the public relations department to handle the hot searches and online public opinion? I checked online. The discussion of this wedding was off the charts, and several entries were at the top of the hot search list. Jinghao and Liu Yuan are runaway brides. Jinghao and abandoned Su Xiao for Dong Bowen at the wedding. Jinghao announced the cancellation of his engagement with Liu Yuan. Yo, the prince actually said something harsh. I bet within 3 days the prince will find my sister Yan and kneel down to beg for mercy. Poor prince, he hasn't even gotten a name for so many years, and he has a reputation as a bootlicker. My sister Yan is so domineering. It's right for sister Yan not to get the marriage certificate. She can leave at any time. There are so many big shots at the wedding, but my sister can still be herself as she pleases. So what about the prince? In my sister's eyes, he's just a plaything. It's a cool story with the female lead, but Ming Liu and did something wrong. The fans cleverly used the trick of fighting women's boxing to make their idol invincible. There were also passers-by who reminded fans don't need to be so rampant. Your sister is where she is today, thanks to the prince's money. Otherwise, with her ordinary looks and average acting skills, she would never have been able to make it. Fans immediately started to criticize. Sister Yan can get to where she is today all by herself. Don't flatter this stinky man. He only drags my sister down. Fans follow the real one. They are just as heartless and mean. It's in vain that I promoted Liu Yuan from a nobody in the entertainment industry to a popular little flower. I can promote her so I can naturally pull her down. Don't deal with the comments on the internet, keep them all. Replace all of Yuan's resources. If you can't replace them, terminate the cooperation, and I will pay the penalty for breach of contract. The Yuan's agency contract is signed with a film and television company under the Su Group, and it will expire in 2 years. I am not going to kill her off. After all, the contract is loose, and the penalty for breach of contract is not a big pressure for Yuan. The assistant looked at me in surprise and then spoke cautiously. Mr. Xiao, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you clearly just now. Do as I say. Even if he changes his mind, I'm here and I won't implicate you. My father said, Thank you, Chairman. The assistant immediately went to do the work. At this moment, Liu Yuan called. Dong Bowen is in police station. You get him out for me and settle the matter. Her tone was cold, as if she was ordering a subordinate to do something. I frowned, hung up, and bluffed the call. Soon a strange number called in. It was Liu Yuan again. Su Xiao, what do you mean? Dong Bowen fought with others for me because the other party slandered me, so shouldn't you go to get him out? Isn't my business your business? The tone on the other end was matter of fact. I laughed angrily. Liu Yuan, didn't anyone tell you that I have announced in public that I have broken off my engagement with you? There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds, and then he spoke. Ah, Xiao, it was wrong of me to abandon you at the wedding. But you know, Dong Bowen gets drunk and fights with death, and I am the only one who can persuade him. Get him out today, and we can have a more grand wedding later. Also, Dong Bowen beat up the kid from the Shen family, so please help mediate. I'm worried about his revenge. In the past, no matter how angry I was, he would immediately dispel my anger as soon as he coaxed me, leaving only heartache and self-blame. But at this time, there is no ripple in my heart. I really got rid of his control. It's none of my business. I responded rudely and hung up the phone. When I looked up, my parents stared at me with their eyes. Xiao, are you really? My mother's eyes were full of expectation. My father hurriedly pulled me. Don't worry. Wait and see. It's not even a day yet. Looking at their wanting to believe but not daring to believe, I felt sour in my heart. The two people who were decisive in the business world are now trembling with fear, all because of me, because they love me. I have inquired about the fight between Dong Bowen and others. He didn't come to today's wedding and went to the bar to drown his sorrows. This is understandable. The lover got married, and the groom was not him. But this man heard the person sitting next to him say that my marriage with Liu or Uy and was a high-priced, low-marrying marriage, so he rushed over to beat people. A big man who is almost 30 years old beat a child who has just become an adult. With a degree of protection of the Shen family, he will suffer in the future. Uy didn't call again. She sent me a message, Su Xiao, I'll give you a day to think it over. If you don't help Dong Bowen, then break up. This is his usual trick, and I ignored him. In the evening, the news that Uy and film and television and endorsements wordplays began to spread on the forum, and his fans began to panic. What's going on? Su Xiao is this time, and she's actually started to use Sister Yan's resources. Sister has been hidden. I'm a little scared. Although I don't want to admit it, it's true that Su Xiao has made Sister Yan famous. Of course, it's mainly because of our sister's own efforts. At exactly 12 o'clock, in the middle of the night, Liu Ruy posted a Weibo. If you can't beat me, you will make me stronger. The fans were immediately like chicken blood, and they revived on the spot. As expected of my sister, she's not afraid. Relying on yourself is enough. I'm a passerby fan. This rhythm is so cool. I love it so much. Haha, and Sister responded, fans don't worry, just follow Sister's pace. We are her strong backing. Laughing at their naivety, people who have been in the greenhouse for a long time should see the real dangers of the entertainment industry. Uy came to see me 3 days later, and I thought she could last at least a week. I overestimated her. In the conference room, she asked in public with a cold face, Su Xiao, what do you mean? I looked at her. She was thin with dark skin, and her appearance could only be described as pretty. Only her eyes were acceptable, watery, seemingly affectionate, but actually heartless. There was nothing about this person that attracted me. Thinking of how I was coerced by the system and held him in the palm of my hand for 3 years, I couldn't help but feel a chill. Fortunately, I have been freed. How long are you going to make a fuss about this little thing? Seeing that I didn't say anything, she slapped the table and said, First, you get Dong Bowen out of here immediately. Second, you and your family go apologize to my parents, and then resume cooperation with my company and increase investment. Third, give me back my resources. I want to play the leading female role in director Zheng's movie. You negotiate it for me. After that, she raised her chin and looked. I really couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ms. If you are sick, go to the hospital. Don't come here to talk nonsense. I waved to the security guard. Send Miss Liu out. Whoever lets her in without my consent in the future, go directly to the Human Resources Department to submit a resignation report. Su Xiao. Liu Ruy changed her face, shouted angrily, and looked at me with full hatred. I am not unfamiliar with him like this. If I don't solve the trouble for him and Dong Bowen in the first time, I will face such a face. In the past, I would be hurt by such eyes, and then silently help to clean up the mess. But even so, I don't deserve a thank you. At first, Dong Bowen was reluctant to thank him, and Liu Ruy would say, why thank him? You gave him face, but he knew you had something to do but didn't tell me. He took the initiative and asked me to call him. You are not sincere. Later, the two of them took my aftermath for granted. At this moment, I looked at him like a madman. You will regret it. When he was dragged out by the security guard, he stared at me and squeezed out a few words from his teeth. I smiled. It won't be me who regrets it. When I got home from get off work that day, my mother cooked dinner for me herself, and my father opened a bottle of wine. Not bad. You have persisted for 3 days. It's worth celebrating. I was convinced. It's a long way to go, and it's not easy to change the impression. On the day Dong Bowen came out of the detention center, Liu Ruy went to pick him up in person, and someone took a video and posted it online. In the video, Liu Ruy asked Dong Bowen about his well-being, and her eyes were full of heartache. At the end of the video, she took his arm and flirted with him as she got into the car like a loving couple. Fans were going crazy below. So sweet, childhood sweethearts are still the best. My sister's eyes are full of love, but she doesn't have such eyes when facing the prince. It's so funny, my sister is cold and disgusted when facing the prince, and she looks like a little woman in love when facing the bamboo horse. Recognize your heart as soon as possible. You don't love Su Zhao. But Dong Bowen. Sure enough, love is like a cough. It can't be hidden. The prince is out. Wait for the official announcement. Such remarks once made me feel like a thorn in my throat. And now I just want to tell fans. But you're with. I didn't expect that. I just saw the video of the two during the day, and I met the real person at night. At that time, my friend and I came out of the bar for a drink and waited for the driver to pick us up while walking. When passing an alley, I heard a woman shouting from inside, "It's Su Zhao's girlfriend. See who dares to touch her. Get out of here." It was Liu Ruyan. My friend and I looked at each other and walked a few steps to the entrance of the alley. I just heard a young man reply, "Damn it. You ran away from the wedding for this rubbish," and Su Zhao announced that he broke up with you at that time. Get out of the way. This matter has nothing to do with you. We are only going to settle accounts with Dong Bowen. Su Zhao and I have reconciled, and he will come to pick me up soon. If you have the guts, don't leave. Liu Ruyan lied confidently. Under the dim light, several young men who looked like gangsters looked at each other. Liu Ruyan took the opportunity to kneel beside Dong Bowen, who was lying on the ground and groaning, touching her face with heartache and crying in her voice. "Brother, it's okay. When Su Zhao arrives, we will take you to the hospital." My already cold heart became even colder. In the 3 years we have been together, Liu Ruyan has never shed a tear for me. Once in a car accident, I was hit and bleeding in my head to protect her, and several ribs were broken. Even so, her first reaction was, "You did it voluntarily. Don't use this moral blackmail to blackmail me in the future." When she was lying in the operating room with her life or death uncertain, she went to accompany Dong Bowen on his birthday without any injury. My mother was so angry that she called him, and she replied, "I'm not a doctor. What's the point of guarding the door? Dong Bowen only has me as a relative. What's wrong with me celebrating his birthday with him?" There was no concern, no heartache, only indifference. After that, when my parents learned that I was going to continue dating Liu Ruyan, they took back the company from me. They thought that with my love brain, the Su group would change its name sooner or later if it was handed over to me. Reconcile, I walked into the alley and everyone looked at me. "Young Master Su, the gangsters." I nodded. "You continue. I'm just passing by," to spell out a rumor. "Okay." Immediately, a gangster carried Liu Ruyan to the side like a chicken to stop him from making trouble again, and the others started fighting Dong Bowen. My friend and I walked out of the alley tacitly. "Su Zhao, don't leave." Liu Ruyan panicked. I didn't look back. I just heard her crying again. "Don't hit me anymore. Don't hit me anymore. I'll give you money, okay? Is 100,000 enough? 200,000? No one paid any attention to her. My friends laughed at me. "This is true love. Yours is just wishful thinking." I couldn't refute, so I could only kick him. After walking for a while, Ruyan suddenly ran over and grabbed my arm. Her hair was disheveled, her face was stained with tears, and her makeup was smudged. "Su Zhao, save Dong Bowen." Those people were sent by the Shen family to cause trouble. I have never begged anyone, let alone you. This time I beg you to help Dong Bowen settle the matter. Otherwise, the Shen family will never stop. I sneered. He didn't need to beg others before because I was there. He didn't beg me because if he wanted me to do something, he just had to act bossy, and there was no need to humble himself, let alone beg. Seeing him being so humble for Dong Bowen, I asked the question in my heart. If you care so much about Dong Bowen, why don't you be with him? His reaction was to smile smugly. "Su Zhao, you are still jealous. Don't worry, I will definitely marry you. Dong Bowen is just my brother." He looked really ugly with his disheveled hair and face, and even more creepy when he smiled. Under the dim street lights in the middle of the night, it added a bit of horror effect. I got goosebumps and had no intention of entangled with him. I won't help you with this favor. Also, don't pretend to be my girlfriend anymore. I will never marry you. You are you, Why? And smile froze on her face. After a while, he said, Su Xiao, you will definitely marry me. I snorted and laughed, one-sided. His body shook, and he looked hit hard. Can't stand it. His cold words to me are much crueler than this. When I left, Dong Bowen was still screaming in the alley. I didn't expect that Wai kept saying that she wanted to marry me, but a few days later she sent him and Dong Bowen's wedding invitation. The two came together, standing in front of me arm in arm. Su Xiao, Dong Bowen, and I are getting married next week. You are welcome to attend our wedding. While speaking, Wai and stared at my face. I took the big red wedding invitation casually. Congratulations, I'll go when I have time. The two people in front of me stood still, and I frowned. Anything else? Su Xiao, Yuan's voice choked. I'm getting married to someone else, you. I looked at him sullenly. I heard it clearly, and I also said congratulations. Aren't you sad at all? He asked desperately. What are you sad about? You like him, and he likes you too. Isn't it good? Besides, this is not a marriage certificate. You can regret it at any time. Dong Bowen's face darkened. I smiled at him, and his face didn't get much better. What if I get a marriage certificate? Yuan bit her lip and asked. My eyes shrank, and I was suddenly speechless. Yuan raised the corner of her mouth with a kind of complacency of winning. You all laughed at me that I would get a marriage certificate this time. Dong Bowen looked at him in surprise. I turned and left. In their eyes, my back looked more like I was fleeing. The next day, someone broke the news online that Liu Yuan and Dong Bowen had obtained their marriage certificate. Our fans were immediately furious. Sister, what are you doing? Are you addicted to cleaning up the mess? You didn't choose Su Zhao, who is such a good man, but chose such a loser. It's just a CP. Why do you take it seriously? Although Dong Bowen said that he liked you for more than 20 years, he has never stopped having girlfriends. Why did you choose Dong Bowen? Why did you choose Dong Bowen? Why Su Zhao is 100 times, 1,000 times better than him? Are you in true love, or are you just trying to get angry with Su Zhao? Why did you choose the wrong option when you knew it was the wrong one? There were also a small number of fans who were bewitched by the setting of childhood sweethearts, from school uniforms to wedding dresses. How romantic! What's wrong with the people upstairs? Someone immediately retorted, stepping on Su Zhao is to help Sister and establish her personality. Do you understand? Go and learn about Dong Bowen's black history and then say something. I'm so mad. You gave up a rich husband and chose such a good-for-nothing rubbish. Liu Yuan blocked me in the parking lot. This time she came alone. Susha, I'm really married this time. She showed me the marriage certificate. Congratulations on getting what you wish for. She looked at me intently, trying to find a trace of regret on my face, but there was none. She panicked and murmured to herself, Why is it like this? It shouldn't be like this. That do you clearly. Live a good life in the future and don't come to me. Their lover will be unhappy. You two are really a good match, aren't you? Liu Yuan shook her head desperately. Her eyes read, He doesn't deserve me at all. He smokes, drinks, and is promiscuous. He makes trouble every day. He is a loser who can't even support himself. It turned out that she knew Dong Bowen's shortcomings. But before, he loved to say to Dong Bowen in front of me, Why should Su Zhao compare with you? While speaking, he did not forget to roll his eyes at me, not disguising his contempt. Su Zhao, Liu Yuan's tone softened. The two of us are the most suitable. I help him because I feel sorry for him, and I marry him to provoke you. He grabbed my arm and begged, I will go and divorce Dong Bowen now, and I will never see him again, and I will never help him again. Su Xiao, let's be like before, okay? He held my hand tightly, and I turned my head away in disgust, just in time to see Dong Bowen standing there with his fists clenched, veins bulging on his forehead. Everyone knows that you love him, but you haven't recognized your own heart yet. I lowered my head and smiled at Liu Yuan. No, the only person I love is you, she defended with tears. At this moment, Liu Yuan's parents rushed over from the dark. Son-in-law, let's go home and talk about it. Both of them had ingratiating smiles on their faces, completely devoid of the arrogance they had at the wedding banquet. I pointed behind them, speechless. Lie, your son-in-law is there. Don't call the wrong person. Liu's father turned his head to glance at Dong Bon and explained to me, don't worry, son-in-law, their marriage is fake. Yu's mother's face was smiling like a chrysanthemum. Xiao Xiao, you are the son-in-law we have recognized. Let's go home. What do you want to eat? Mom will cook it for you. Don't you like Mom's cooking the most? I didn't have such good treatment before. Whenever I went to the Liu family, Dong Bowen would be there, and Liu's mother would only cook what he liked. Never caring about me, I have already obtained the marriage certificate. It is not a fake marriage. I said seriously, looking at Dong Bowen, your marriage is protected by law. As long as one party is unwilling, no one can force you to divorce. His eyes moved slightly, and he glanced at the three members of the Liu family with a gloomy face. Dong Bowen, listen to me. He will cooperate whenever I want to divorce. Liu Yuan aunt tightened her grip on my hand. I pried open her fingers one by one. Miss Liu, whether you get divorced or not has nothing to do with me. Stop bothering me. Su Zhao, he wanted to say something else. I turned cold. Let go. He was frightened and then fell to the ground, covering his face and crying. Why is this happening? Of course it's because you wantonly trample on other people's feelings. Seeing that I was unmoved, Liu's father and mother knelt down in front of me with a plot. Son-in-law, even if you don't reconcile with Yuan, for the sake of our past relationship, please help my company. The Yu family's company was founded by Yuan's grandfather and was inherited by Yu's father after the old man passed away. Unfortunately, he had no talent for business, and he went bankrupt in a few years. It was only with my help that he came back to life. Now that I have cut off all funding, his company has fallen into a precarious situation again. I turned a blind eye and walked around them. Behind them, Liu's father and mother blamed their daughter. It's all your fault. You had to marry such a thing. Now, people don't want you anymore. You swore that Su Zhao would definitely marry you, but what happened? Liu, are you white and cried and shouted, have you ever been nice to him? He will blame me when something goes wrong. Then came his disgusted voice. Get away, don't touch me. Let's get a divorce now. I don't want to marry you. It turns out that he can also speak ill of him. But it's a pity that it was for himself, not for me. Once, Dong Bowen deliberately hurt me, and he could stand on his side and bite me back. That was 2 years after we started dating. Once when we were climbing a mountain, I was pushed hard from behind on the slope. Before I fell, I subconsciously reached out and grabbed the man's clothes, and as a result, we both rolled down the slope together. The person who did it was Dong Bowen. When I woke up, I was already in the hospital, with scratches on my hands and face, a sprained foot, swollen like a steamed bun, and a slight concussion. I was about to ask the nurse about Dong Bowen's condition, and Liu Yuan pulled someone in with red eyes. He didn't care about my condition at all, and stepped forward to question Su Zhao. You didn't stand firmly. Why did you drag Dong Bowen down? How can you be so vicious? Look at all the injuries on his body. I took a closer look. The so-called injuries on his body meant a piece of gauze on his forehead and a band-aid on his right hand. Just as I was about to retort, my friend who was climbing the mountain with us said, Liu Yuan, don't go too far. It was obviously Dong Bowen who pushed Su Zhao on purpose. Su Zhao grabbed his clothes reflexively and the two fell down together. Moreover, Su Zhao's injury is much more serious than your good friend's, okay? Can you care about your boyfriend? Liu Yuan didn't believe it and aggressively asked her friend to produce evidence. It wasn't until her friend threw a video that someone else happened to take in his face that she stopped talking. Dong Bowen, who had been silent all the time, finally opened his mouth. Are you YN? Forget it. In fact, I just wanted to play a joke on Su Zhao. Hey, I won't dare to do it next time. Rich people are precious. Liu Yuan patted his hand comfortingly. He didn't stand firmly. What does it have to do with you? You are the one who was hit by a scam. Don't be led astray by people with ulterior motives. Then he looked at me sideways. You are incompetent and you are still implicating innocent people. So don't let your lackeys blame you for it. It's not shameful enough. From beginning to end, he never asked about my injury. That time I made up my mind to break up with Liu, R-U-Y-N, but with a phone call from him, I forgot the anger and frustration at that time and continued to serve him like a licking dog. Yuan certainly did not get divorced. I think even without systematic intervention, Dong Bowen would not be willing to divorce. Yu's father and mother came to meet wives, begging me to save their daughter and save their company. I didn't even get out of the car and let them beg outside. If they had had the least respect for me before, I would not have done this. All their regrets now are just paying for their previous recklessness. Liu Yuan's fans flocked to my Weibo, begging me to get their sister back. Now they have also begun to think well of me, as if it was not them who scolded me for being useless. Other fans took screenshots of their faces before and after and laughed at them. I love to see the face collapsing scene. Cool. My parents completely believed in my determination to break up. In addition to being happy, they gave bonuses to all employees and returned my shares to me. After the company rejected several resources that approached Liu Yuan, she finally came to discuss the termination of the contract. I had someone bring him into my office. When we met again, he was polite and spoke much softer. I handled the matter impartially and without any nonsense, and quickly completed the termination procedures. When I stood up to leave, Liu Yuan suddenly said, "Excuse me, I need to use the restroom." Then he went straight to the lounge in my office. I frowned and stopped the legal and financial staff who were about to leave. I had a hunch that something was going to happen. After about 10 minutes, there was no movement inside. I asked the financial girl to knock on the door, but no one answered and the door was locked. I was startled and kicked the door open. The financial girl who followed behind me screamed. Liu Yuan was lying on the bed in the room and her blood had stained the light-colored sheets. She had cut her wrists and was already in a semi-comatose state. It turned out that he had not given up. After I gave him a simple bandage, I sent him to the hospital and waited for him to wake up. Liu Yuan opened his eyes on the hospital bed, saw my tears falling, and reached out to grab my hand. Shao, let's make up. I love you. And you still love me, right? I dodged and looked at his pale face, Mrs. Feng, let's stop here. I have no feelings for you anymore, and hurting myself will not change anything. He was really cruel to me this time, so what? The premise for such a method to work is that I still have feelings for him. Why, you obviously loved me so much before. His face turned even paler, and he asked in a sad voice. You also said it was in the past. Love will be worn away. When you ignored my life and death for Dong Bowen again and again, you should have thought that this day would come. No, you should forgive me. You will always forgive me, no matter what I did to you. I didn't want to argue with him, and I told him the biggest surprise directly. I will not forgive you, and I will not be with you, because Dong Bowen is your man. His eyes widened instantly, looking at me in horror, and his whole body trembled. No, you have always been my man. I changed it for you on the day you ran away from the marriage. You're welcome. I smiled and waved my hand. All previous expectations were swept away. He was stunned for a moment, and then screamed hysterically, "Why can't it be changed? You lied to me. Change it back. Change it back." He should be talking to his system. When I came out of the ward, I passed by Dong Bowen. His eyes were red with a hangover, and he smelled strongly of alcohol, cigarettes, and perfume. Soon, accompanied by the sound of broken cups, Liu Yuan scolding, "What the hell are you doing here?" Dong Bowen responded nonchalantly, "I am your husband. How can I not come to see you? It seems that you are okay. Give me some more money to spend." I saw Yuan again at a cocktail party. She had completely given up her image of being as calm as a chrysanthemum and fawned on the directors and producers in a straightforward and charming way. Circumstances can really change a person a lot. After leaving the hospital, although I didn't pay much attention to her, I still heard about her. After the contract was terminated, she set up her own studio. Without my mindless support, her resources plummeted. Dong Guoan actually became her agent. This man has no experience, no ability, no bottom line, and everything is for profit. Originally, Liu Yueguang could get reasonable resources with her popularity, but Dong Bowen only accepted bad dramas for money. Of course, this can be said that the two of them have similar tastes. After all, no matter what, Liu Yueguang has to nod in the end, right? The result is, of course, a failure and being ridiculed. After several failures, Liu Yueguang could only take the second and third female roles in low-cost web dramas. She was unwilling to accept this, so she organized a drama to film, but ended up losing a lot of money and had to sell her house to fill the hole. His company had already declared bankruptcy before that. After a series of failures, Liu Yueguang began to go to various drinking parties, looking for someone who could help him make a comeback. At first, he was still hiding it, but later he was just open and above board. He was often unphotographed traveling with different people in an intimate manner or entering and leaving hotels. Her few remaining fans have been counting down for his marriage, and some of them are even more tactless and persistently asked me to get Liu Yueguang back under my Weibo. Just kidding, I locked this loving couple with my own hands, and no one can break up the CP, including myself. Su Xiao, long time no see. I had just left a group of people for a social event, and Liu Yueguang sat down next to me. There was a lot of vicissitudes between her eyebrows and eyes, and there were traces of bruises on her face. It is said that she undong bo on her hospitalized several times. Long time no see. I replied politely, and then there was silence. After sitting for a while, a waiter came over with a tray. Liu Yueguang reached out and took the only two glasses of wine on it and handed one of them to me. Drink one. I took it but didn't drink it. What's wrong? Are you afraid that I will drug you? Don't worry, I'm not interested in men now. He clinked glasses with me, undrank the wine in his glass. I showed him the video on my phone, and his face turned blue and white. In the video, he was pouring white powder into the wine glass. I handed the wine glass to the assistant next to me for testing. Liu Yueguang came up to grab it, and his voice suddenly rang out in the hall. Look, how easy it is to ruin a person. I just asked him to accompany me to the dinner, let him drink a few more glasses, and then asked those men to send him home, and he jumped off the building. What if he has a talent for acting? He's gone, and I still have unlimited possibilities. Zhuan, don't blame me, who made me get the role with great difficulty, and the producer suddenly changed his mind and wanted to use you. The whole audience was shocked. Zhuan was Liu Yueguang's good friend and also an actor with a mediocre career. 1 month ago, he suddenly jumped off a building, and unexpectedly the cause of death was related to Liu Yueguang. At this time, Liu Yueguang's eyes were fierce and she gritted her teeth. Dong Bowen. As soon as he said that, Dong Bowen came out of the crowd with undisguised hatred on his face. Liu Yueguang, you didn't expect that I could come back, did you? It's not that easy to kill me. He was leaning on a crutch with gauze wrapped on his head, and the exposed skin was covered with scars. Liu Yueguang rushed towards him like crazy. Go to hell. The onlookers watched the two fight to the point that no one went up to stop them. Zhuan's incident brought an end to Liu Yueguang's acting career, and all her only fans left. The medicine in the glass of wine he handed me was hallucinogenic. When I got the test results, my friend patted me on the shoulder. Fortunately, you were prepared. Congratulations on jumping out of the fire pit. Yes, congratulations to myself. Let those two people torture each other. By the way, in the fight at the cocktail party, Liu Yueguang was disfigured and blinded, and Dong Bowen was injured in one of his legs, was completely disabled. Yueguang's parents exposed Dong Bowen's domestic violence against their daughter online, and netizens commented, "It serves him right. Evildoers will be punished by their own evil." Liu Yueguang and Dong Bowen became a pair of resentful couples, torturing each other but unable to separate. I took over the family company and met a girl who was well matched and congenial. After 2 years of dating, we held a grand wedding. A perfect wedding, Su Xiao. Congratulations on meeting the right person. The long-lost electronic voice suddenly appeared. You will love each other, grow old together, and live a happy life.